I'm Mary Obana. Welcome to Shine. I'm all about friendly, soul-nourishing, spiritually inspired conversations that expand perspectives and offer practical guidance so you can live joyfully and shine brightly. I believe everyone has something special within them, a unique gift, a light you are to find and share with the world. You are meant to shine. I believe you have a deep knowing, guidance that is ready to serve you. It is always available if you listen. I believe you are meant to live with complete joy and peace, nothing less. It's just awaiting your allowing. Ready to get to it? Here we go. Hello. Thank you for joining me. I am grateful you are here. I can't think of a more fitting topic for this time of year than gratitude. Well, I've certainly talked about gratitude in many episodes in one form or another. It's hard to believe I have yet to devote an episode entirely to it. And while I always release podcasts on Fridays, it seemed apropos to drop this one on Thanksgiving Thursday. Regardless of when you're listening to this, happy Thanksgiving. It's said that the first Thanksgiving celebration was in 1621 when the Plymouth colonists and the Wampanoag shared an autumn feast celebrating the harvest and recognizing the blessings of the past year. But I guess it wasn't until 1863, in the midst of the Civil War, by the way, that President Abraham Lincoln declared Thanksgiving as a national holiday. And it's been a cherished part of our traditions here in the United States ever since. Thanksgiving, hands down my favorite of all holidays. Stopping to recognize the blessings of the past year and just being with the people I love. Oh, and the food. I do love the food. But giving thanks isn't intended to be only a once-a-year thing. And with good reason. Surprisingly, gratitude has many meanings, but the practical definition is the appreciation of what is valuable and meaningful to oneself, being in a general state of thankfulness or appreciation. Gratitude is densely packed with a significant number of benefits affecting every part of our lives: emotional, physical, social, professional, and personal. And it's been widely studied by scholars throughout the world and in virtually every esteemed institution: Stanford, Harvard, Yale, the NIH. The list goes on and on and on. Dr. Robert Emmons, a professor of psychology at the University of California, Davis, is considered the world's leading scientific expert on gratitude, given his extensive research and having authored over 200 publications on the subject. Emmons claims that gratitude has two core components. First, it's an affirmation of goodness. I really love this because gratitude is the recognition and acknowledgement that there are good things in the world. Gosh, if you listen to the news every day, it can be easy to forget. Second, it involves, actually even requires, a connectedness to things outside of ourselves, whether that's a higher power, nature, or other people. It breaks the trap of egocentricity. And boy, I can devote a whole episode on why that's important. But he goes on to share why gratitude is good. Number one, it allows us to savor the present. This is so true. Gratitude helps us slow down. Instead of racing through our lives, our interactions with people, with nature, even objects, when we are appreciative, we immerse ourselves more fully into the present experience, whatever that might be. When we're grateful, we don't take anything for granted. We savor. Gratitude is about acknowledgement. It's about giving attention. It doesn't even require words. It's the mere recognition, the appreciation, which creates a receptive state of consciousness. And when you focus on the good, you're going to see more things that are good. 2, Gratitude blocks toxic, negative emotions. If you listened to my recent episode on fear, you now know that you cannot feel fear when you're feeling love because they're conflicting feelings. This is true for gratitude as well. Research from Emmons and his colleagues McCullough and Tsung found that people who have high levels of gratitude have low levels of resentment and envy. You cannot feel envy, resentment, or regret when you're feeling grateful. They are incompatible emotions, very different ways of relating to the world. Research by psychologist Alex Wood also found that gratitude can reduce the frequency and duration of episodes of depression, presumably for similar reasons. So if you find yourself feeling regretful, envious, resentful, sad, or discouraged, shift your attention to something for which you're grateful. I always think of my sweet, adorable, loving dog. 3, gratitude is strongly correlated with psychological benefits. Those that are grateful have been found to have higher levels of positive emotions, are more alert, alive, awake, experience more joy and pleasure, and have greater measured levels of optimism and happiness. One study found that those who kept a gratitude journal just 5 minutes a day had a 15% increase in optimism. And those that have a more optimistic disposition experience less personal disappointment and loneliness. Number 4, grateful people are more stress resistant. Many studies show that grateful people recover more quickly when faced with serious trauma, adversity, and suffering. Gratitude is a perspective, and when you see your life through this lens of appreciation and positivity, you experience it differently. And we feel better too. When we express or feel gratitude, our brain releases dopamine and serotonin, 2 hormones that make us feel lighter and happier. Who doesn't want more of that? 5, gratitude has health benefits. Gratitude has been correlated with more robust immune systems, fewer reports of aches and pains, fewer doctor visits, lower blood pressure, exercising more, sleeping better, and being mentally healthier. That's pretty cool. 6, grateful people have a greater sense of self-worth. This makes a lot of sense to me. If you look at others with appreciation, you avoid that comparison trap that is a way of reducing your self-esteem. Seeing the greatness in whatever you see includes seeing it within yourself. Yep, gratitude is a path to well-being. Do you remember the 2 episodes I devoted to well-being? They were episodes 30 and 31. One of the things I shared was the correlation between gratitude and your sense of well-being. Emmons and McCullough did this famous study trying to understand this relationship. So they asked subjects to do one simple thing. They asked, write 5 things from the past week they were grateful for. They could be big things or little things, it didn't matter. When compared to a group that listed 5 hassles over the past week and another that listed 5 things that simply happened, the group that made the gratitude list experienced some big benefits. They rated higher in terms of thinking their life as a whole was going better. They were more optimistic about how the upcoming week was going to go. And interestingly, those that were sick or had something bothering them physically reported fewer symptoms when feeling grateful. This gratitude group also reported participating in a full hour more of exercise just for feeling grateful. And by the way, this was all after making this list just once. Gratitude has far-reaching effects on so many parts of our life. There's no question about it. Our lives are better with gratitude. Now, I'm no researcher, but this is the way I think about gratitude. Gratitude is the choice to see the gift in all things. Gratitude is the choice to see the gift in all things. Gratitude, like everything in life, is a choice. Our perspectives shape our experiences. So when we look at things through the lens of gratitude, it changes everything. We see more for which to be grateful. Every experience, everything, everyone is a gift. Something to appreciate, something to behold, something to love, something to learn. Even the most challenging of life circumstances have a gift within it if we look for it. Sometimes it isn't immediately obvious, but it's always there, I promise. When we live our lives choosing to see the gift in all things, we feel the gratitude. And when we feel gratitude, we enjoy all of its benefits. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrating emotions. When our vibration is high, we attract other high vibrating things. And as you know, all the good things in life, everything we want, vibrates high. So when we are in a state of gratitude, we will attract more for which to be grateful. Yeah, gratitude is the choice to see the gift in all things. I'm going to give you a list of things. It's a little game. Can you find the gift within it for you? Your shower. The street you live on. Your voice. The way you get to the grocery store. A book you recently read. What you did last night. Your body. Your dinner plate. The tree you pass every day. The cashier you just saw. Okay, now the ones that might require that you look a little deeper to find it. Where is the gift in these? A job you didn't get. A job you didn't like. An argument you had. The flight you missed. A loss. As you know, I lost a dear friend this year, and while her passing was filled with sadness, I couldn't help but feel immense gratitude for having her in my life, for having met her, for the joy she brought to everything. Shifting my attention to what was received rather than what had been lost really helped me. I've seen how this shift is reflected in memorial services too. There can be funerals where everyone wears black and mourns the loss with deep anguish and sadness, or there can be celebrations of the life that touched them, where people share the gifts that came from them. Gratitude comes in lots of shapes and sizes. It can be found in everything. Thanksgiving is a gift in and of itself because it asks us to reflect, to stop and think about where you are and what's transpired over this year. Sometimes we move so fast and are so focused on all we want to accomplish, we lose track of how far we've come. So let me ask, in what way are you now more deeply connected? It can be to your spiritual practice, it can be to your community, to a loved one, to friends, to yourself. In what way are you now more deeply connected? What's something that you experienced over this year that was a blessing in disguise? Maybe it was something you didn't wish for, but turned out to be exactly what you needed. Name something you love doing today that you weren't doing last year. Name someone you love having in your life today that you didn't used to know. What do you know about yourself today that you didn't know this time last year? Think of something that you dreaded happening and it didn't. Who has helped you be the person you are today? What would you thank them for? What's better about today than last year at this time? What have you done that surprised even you this year? As you gather with close friends or family at this time of year, or any time of year for that matter, pick a question to ask everyone. Maybe it's one of these, maybe it's one of your own. There's always something for which to be grateful. When my son was little, every night before he went to bed, we'd ask him to share his thank you for the day. When he was tired or didn't want to put a lot of thought into it, he'd say, "For my comfy bed and the roof over my head." That was his go-to. We giggled, but we were grateful that he said anything at all. This summer, some 19 years later, Kai landed a 16-week culinary internship at a luxury resort near our home on Cape Cod. He wanted to explore whether his passion and gift for cooking was a direction he wanted to pursue. In a word, it was brutal. Long 12 to 14-hour days with all the challenges, frustrations, and pressure found in a 4-star 6-restaurant kitchen. Kai came home exhausted and at times defeated. But I'll never forget what he said to me one night. He said, "Mom, there are times where I wonder, when will this be over? But I did this so I could learn. And I don't want to forget what I'm learning. So I decided every night, regardless of how tired I am and how ridiculous of a day I had, I'm going to write down what I learned and one thing I'm grateful for. It'll help me to keep my perspective in check." It made me think, nightly thank yous. What a beautiful idea. It's amazing what happens when you stop and think about all the things in your life to be grateful for. People, places, things, the way you've been made to feel, the laughter that you've experienced, big things, everyday things, the smallest of things, the grace and kindness of strangers. But the idea of looking for the gift when life throws us those days that are tough, that's when gratitude might be most important. It helps us see things differently, helps us shift our perspective and our energy. As you gather with others this season especially, one of the greatest gifts you can give to yourself and to those you love is the gift of gratitude. Nothing is more moving, more appreciated, more meaningful. I am grateful for so much. For my beautiful family, for my friends, both old and new, for the ability to do work I love so much. I'm grateful for my voice, for my guidance, for all the love that surrounds me, for the love that surrounds all of us, and for all the lessons, the gifts that I have found in even the most challenging of circumstances. Gratitude is a choice. The choice to see the gift in all things. Here's to you and to seeing all of yours. Happy Thanksgiving. Until next time, take it easy.